Maybe you know this feeling. You've been playing the guitar for many years, rhythm, soloing, but when it comes to really controlling your rhythm, you sometimes feel kind of lost. That's exactly how I felt a long time ago. But fortunately, my guitar teacher taught me a secret approach, and I want to share this with you in this video. And the secret is very easy. There are only 7 different rhythm patterns you need to know. 7 different rhythm patterns, and that's all. And these patterns aren't just for rhythm guitar, you can also use them in your soloing. Why is that? Because rhythm patterns are just rhythm patterns, and the patterns themselves are identical, and so is the movement of your right hand. The only difference is when you play rhythm, your motion is bigger, you're strumming across 6 strings, and when you're playing a solo, you only play 1 string at a time. So let's start right at the beginning. The first thing we need to talk about is the pulse or beat. This is basically a regular steady impulse that sets the tempo of the music. In a perfect world, it remains consistent, it doesn't speed up or slow down. Once we have a steady beat, we can start to organize it by adding accentuation, which creates what we call a meter. If we accent the first beat and leave the second beat unaccented, we get a duple meter, 2 beats per measure. We count it as 1, 2. If we accent the first beat and leave the second and third beats unaccented, we get a triple meter, 3 beats per measure. We count it as 1, 2, 3. In other words, a meter is a pattern of strong and weak beats that helps structure the music. When playing music, we need a time signature. There are a lot of different time signatures, but let's focus on what we usually play in our bands. A time signature can be duple, 2 beats per measure, or triple, 3 beats per measure. The most common time signature is 4/4 time. Think of it as 2 duple meters combined. We count them as 1, 2, 3, 4. In this video we want to talk about rhythm. What's the difference between a meter and a rhythm? A meter is the regular pattern of strong and weak beats, so to say the framework that organizes the music. A rhythm is a combination of different note durations and accents within a meter. In other words, a rhythm is how we play or arrange different impulses on top of the underlying meter. Now for the trick. I learned it from a guitar teacher back in the 1980s. It's a simple and effective concept. I never heard it anywhere else before or since, and I have absolutely no idea if he was inspired by someone or came up with it himself. Anyway, there are 7 different rhythms that form the foundation of almost everything we can play, and once you know these, you can apply them any way you want to. The 7 basic rhythms are built using quarter notes and eighth notes. Each rhythm is 2 beats long, so we count it as 1 and 2 and. The numbers 1, 2 represent the main beats. The and represents the offbeat or the second half of each beat. The great thing about guitar is that you can play rhythms using downstrokes and upstrokes. Every time you say a number, 1, 2, you move your hand down. And every time you say and, you move your hand up. For example, counting and playing together, 1 and 2 and, down, up, down, up. For the first rhythm, let's call it A. This is a self-made classification, so don't look for it anywhere, you won't find it. It's just a practical way to handle the 7 patterns more easily. We'll name them A, B, C, D, E, F, G, alright? So back to rhythm figure A. We have 1 rhythmic impulse on each count. Counting it out slowly, it goes. Play it in a loop until it feels natural. Let's continue. Now we're going to place 3 rhythmic impulses into 4 counts. There are 3 ways to do this. First way is to play the impulses on 1 and 2. So you can play the note you leave out shorter or just let it ring, it doesn't matter. So this is shorter. long. All right, so in tempo. The second way, play the impulses on 1 and 2 and, so leave out the 2, like this. The third way, play the impulses on 1, 2 and, like this. Now finally, let's do the same thing with only 2 rhythmic impulses. There are 3 ways to place these 2 impulses over 4 counts, and they are 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. The second way is on 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. The next way is on 1, 2 and. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. These are the 7 basic rhythms. Each pattern gives a different feel, even though we're still working with 4 counts. So far, I hope I've given you an idea of how they sound. Of course, you probably noticed that each one sounds totally different and each one feels totally different. The next step is to learn them by heart. It's important to not just only learn them in theory, but to connect your ears with the sound of the rhythms, to really internalize them. It's similar to words in a language. For example, the word rhythm. You don't read by pronouncing each individual letter, which is very complicated with rhythm. You instantly recognize the whole word. So that's it. Are there only 7 rhythms? Yeah. If you're starting on 1, using quarter and eighth notes, there are 7 basic rhythms, and that's it. Now let's move back to 4/4 time. Now that we know the 7 rhythms, we can easily combine them. For example, we can use one rhythm for the first half of the measure and another rhythm for the second half. When you do this, you get 49 possible combinations of 2-beat rhythms in 4/4 time. Boom! You can easily leave out the note on 1. By doing this, you get more possible rhythmic combinations without having to learn anything new. How great is that? Now we know everything we need to know about quarter notes and eighth notes. But we can do the exact same thing with eighth notes and 16th notes. The way quarter notes and eighth notes relate to each other is 1, 2, 2. 1 quarter note equals 2 eighth notes. And that's the same relationship as between 8th and 16th notes. What are 16th notes? We now divided each beat 1, 2, 3, 4 into 2. Remember, we call them 1 and 2 and 3 and. Using 16th notes, we divide each of the 4 beats into 4 subdivisions. We call them 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, each of the 7 basic rhythms is 1 beat long. You can use 4 of them in each bar. Look, this is rhythm D. You can play it on either 1, 2, 3, 4, or on all 4, of course. Combining this with the other patterns gives you 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 2001, oh gosh. I think you get the idea. That's it for today. Thanks for watching the video until the end. That really means a lot. If you like this content, don't hesitate to hit subscribe for good karma. Stay tuned. See you next time.